Hi, welcome. Today, got the wire caught around my chair leg. Pull all my lighting out. Today I am going to create some little clay pins of the little portrait heads that I made in my last video. So I need to just create some cardboard templates of the outline of the little heads and then cut them out, and then I'll just use them on the air dry clay to create some heads. And I thought I'd share the process with you. Another thing I just wanted to share was a little ritual that I've got when I do come into my art room to get me in the right mindset, and that is usually to have some music going. So I've got my headphones to listen to music, not always on headphones though. And the other thing I do, let me turn you around, is have my little smelly diffuser. And this one is quite nice because it shines different lights. Not that I sit here staring at it because I'm too busy doing my artwork, but the smell's amazing and it just tricks my brain into getting into that mindset of actually creating. So I've traced my little faces onto some tracing paper, and then I've used some carbon paper to transfer it onto some card. It's quite flexible card, it's not thick because I wanted to be able to cut it out easily with the scissors. And then I'm going to go and cut this out onto some clay that I'm going to roll out. Hi, welcome to the pottery studio. I haven't showed you in here yet. That's where my pottery wheel's kept, and I've got some pots that have been made on the shelf that need finishing, need glazing. Only started them in 2023, so anyhow, I am in here to show you about the air dry clay. So let me just turn the camera around and share with you some Das, I don't know how you pronounce it, but that's the air dry clay that I'm going to use. So I'm going to get this out of the tub. I've had it stored for quite a while actually. I'm hoping it's going to be soft enough. I'm going to use some sheets of plastic and some guides and my rolling pin. These will give me an even thickness. I'll just roll this out, roll the clay out, and then I can cut out my shapes from the templates that I've made. So I've cut out all the shapes now, and this is them. As you can see, which I really wanted to show you, because it can be quite disheartening, is that they're quite rough. They're quite rough around the edges, which is fine because they can be cleaned up, and you're almost better cleaning them up when they've dried off a little bit, so they'll be better to work with at that point. Yeah, that's what mine look like, so yeah, don't be disheartened if they don't look perfect at this stage. Hi, this is day 2. These are my little heads. There you go. This is them 24 hours later. I have cleaned them up, so they look a lot neater now. But they're still not dried out for painting, so this is 24 hours later. These are the air dry clay animals and heads, which have now dried out sufficiently. What I'm doing with an emery board, just a normal nail file, is just tidying it up even more on the edges, because you can see crease lines. But it does create a dust, so really you should do it over water, because the water catches the dust and then you're not breathing it in. But as you can see, I'm not practicing what I'm preaching, but I will wipe it away into water in a minute. I just wanted to show it to you on the camera. I will wipe it over with just a damp cloth to make sure all the dust is off, otherwise the paint's going to have trouble sticking to it. And then this one I was just going to show, I've already sanded around the outside, but I've got that really tight little hole to get into. Just going to cut, she says, just going to cut the emery board down to an even smaller size so that I can fit it in that little hole, but being careful because I don't want it to break. So there you go, there's my tricks of the trade. I couldn't believe as a potter you end up spending a lot of bloody time sanding just to finish edges off, but it does give it that nicer finish, so it is worth this effort, because you'll never get this finish in the hand making stage. There you go, there's a little foxy. So I will scoop this up with some water and then start painting. I'm still working on the clay pins, and I thought I'd show you how far I've come along with that little project. So I've got the portraits that I used the little portrait notebook that I showed you in my notebook, portrait sketchbook that I shared in my last video. They were the inspiration for these little pins. There you go. That's two of the male ones that I've made. And I also have a little female pin. Not quite finished. I need to put some more detailing in, maybe a little bit more colour, but they're nearly getting there. And then pop the backs on, which I bought from Amazon for a couple of pounds, not very much at all. I think I got a pack of like 50 for £3 I want to say, but they come in different sizes, so be mindful of that. I think those ones were 2.5 centimetres I want to say. No, they're 2 centimetres, so I'll be popping them on the back, and I could actually pop them on long ways. Don't have to go on horizontally or even at an angle. Oh, that works quite well. Put them on a diagonal. So I need to find what glue I'm going to use for that. I've got some different glues. I've got a heat gun. No, a glue gun. So that might work quite well. Then I made the animals as well, and I painted these with gouache. And to be quite honest, I'm not overly impressed with the finish. So that's them at the moment. They're lovely and matte, which is why I like the gouache, but they look a bit patchy and a bit chalky. And I think that the clay lifted a little bit as I was painting. So I'm going to go back over those using acrylic, because I think it gives a more durable, hard wearing finish. And that's an example of the little bird. Again, not quite finished, nearly finished, but this was painted using the acrylics, and I think that's a nicer finish. So that's where I'm up to. Oh, I'll share my inspiration with you. So the little birdie inspiration, been through my old sketchbooks, and that's sketchbook number 4. Gosh, completed, because I write a date in when I start the sketchbook. Started in January 2018, but it wasn't finished until March 2020. So it's a couple of years old, this sketchbook, and I knew I'd got a lovely picture of a bird, and I thought, oh, I'll flick through there and find the design that I used in the sketchbook, and I'll recreate that on the clay pin. So that is what this little bird hopefully will look like Doesn't look quite the same shape, but get the gist of it. So that's where I'm up to. What I've also done now, because I work on a number of sketchbooks at once, I don't have just one sketchbook going, because I might have a watercolour paper sketchbook, a landscape one for taking out larger in size, A4 size, A3 size I've been using recently, so I tend to number them now as well, so I've got a bit of an idea chronologically when I completed them, roughly, so there is some overlap between them. And I always, like I said, I always put a date in at the beginning, and then when I've finished on my last page I'll go back and put a date at the end so it's dated. But it might seem like 2 years for me to fill a sketchbook is a long time. It probably was then. I probably wasn't using my sketchbook quite as much, but like I said, I've got multiple sketchbooks on the go. So that's where we're up to there. Right, I'll carry on showing you the rest of the painting, and yeah, you can see how that goes. They're all completed. I've painted them all up, so that's the fox. Then we have the red squirrel and the woman whose hair changed colour quite a few times, as it did with the man, and the other man. And lastly, there's a little bird, which I thought was really cute how he came out, because it's quite bright. I might seal them, or put a varnish on them, and then I'll stick my pins on, and we're all done. Really good fun to make. They are quite labour intensive, more so than I probably anticipated, as usual. I usually think everything's so quick and easy, and it ends up not, because of painting them and painting one side and letting it dry and then having to paint the other side. But I'm really pleased with how they come out, and they do look like my drawings, which is good. So yeah, I'll show you them once the backs are on. The pins are now completed. I gave them a spray with varnish, just a matte varnish spray, and that left a really nice surface. And today I've put the backs on, so the brooch backs, which was them, the little brooch backs, and I've stuck them on with the glue gun, and they seem to be quite secure. And we now have the finished article. So that's Mr. Fox, and then we have a lady. And what I've done with her pin is stuck it on. You can see all the glue. I need to tidy up the glue a bit. But I've put the brooch back on vertically. And I did the same for him. And actually for the squirrel as well. The squirrel. Oh no, I went on a diagonal, so I swapped things around. And the final one, and then one of my favourites, because I think this has got a lot of scope for really looking quite nice, because it can be done in lots of different colours and designs. And it's got a pin going horizontally along the back. There we go, there's my little bird. Looking very cute. So I'm really pleased with those. Yeah, make them again. Not that tricky, quite fiddly. Probably, you do need some skill, but from the whole beginning of rolling out the clay, cutting it out, tidying it up, sanding it, and then the painting and attaching the backs. Not really hard, but does take some effort. And the results I think are quite cute. I rather like them. So I'll be making some more. I hope you found the video helpful and you have a go at making your own. You could do your own portraits, different animals, different designs. There's loads of scope for them and they're good fun. And I think they make really nice gifts if you did like portraits of people that you knew. So yeah, enjoy. Do let me know how you get on. I'd love to see if anybody else makes some and share them. Show me what you've been up to. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye.